Understanding how to craft is essential to getting the best items, but the crafting system in Durango is so incredibly complicated that even most level 60 players don't know how it all works. So today Nexon has sponsored me to teach you everything you need to know about crafting. I know I told you guys that my next video in this game would be about weapons, but the more I worked on that video, the more I realized that I first needed to teach you how crafting works. So that video will be after this one, and I'm almost done with it, so it should come out soon. The first thing we're going to be talking about in crafting is the correlation between material and item attributes. I'm sure you've noticed that when you gather resources, items have the chance of getting gray, yellow, or green attributes. These attributes are important because they give very powerful buffs to your finished items. Gray attributes are always bad, yellow are always good, and green attributes are amazing if you know what you're doing, but they are also very rare. Increasing your ability level in gathering that type of resource will increase your chances of getting yellow and green attributes while decreasing your chances of getting gray attributes. You can also use processing to add more yellow attributes, but I'll talk a little bit more about processing later on. The most important thing you need to know about attributes is that most of the time when you are crafting, these attributes mean nothing. Only time they matter is when you are filling the top section of a build. Having attributes on items in any of these other sections have no effect on the item you are crafting. Furthermore, if the top section requires more than one item, it will take the average attributes of those items rounded down. So if you do not pair items with similar attributes, you will likely end up with no attributes on your finished item. And then on top of all that, attributes only give buffs to certain types of items. So if you craft the wrong type of item with that buff, then you will again end up with no attributes on your finished item. So if you want to end up with an item that has a lot of amazing buffs, then you have to plan it out from the beginning. For example, when I want to build a pro class axe, which is a very high damage weapon, I set out to find an item that will increase its accuracy and critical chance to maximize on its natural strengths. So I usually search on the market for 3 pieces of zinc ore that have lightweight level 4 because that's pretty easy to find for cheap. After processing those items and turning them into brass, I can easily get over 6 levels of the lightweight and compact structure attributes on each of them, which will then turn into the buffs that I'm wanting. For a full list of all the buffs in the game and what buffs they turn into, I have put a link to a Google spreadsheet in the pinned post of this video. I will also be giving more starting item recommendations in all my future videos. For example, I will be including several good options for each of the weapons in my next video. As I mentioned earlier, green attributes are rare, so if you find an item that has one, make sure to plan out what you want to do with it. And if you're low level, I would strongly recommend selling it. You will not be able to make that great of a weapon with it, and even low level items with green attributes can be sold for 30 to 50,000 T-stones. This is because unlike attributes, the level of an item is averaged between all of the items in every section. So a skilled processor can turn any level material into a level 59 item. As I mentioned earlier, processing also allows us to manually add yellow attributes to items. Each time you process an item, you can add 2 to 3 more levels of yellow attributes. So processing is a big deal when crafting the best items in the game. Because of this, it is important to pay attention to how many processing chances an item has left. The most extreme example of this is if you ever see an item on the market that has 0 processing chances and it still says ore, then that item is completely worthless even if it has a green attribute. Now, one of the problems with processing is that every time you process an item, there is a rare chance that you could make a big mistake and lose the item altogether. This is another reason why low-level players should just sell items they find with green buffs. The best way to lower your chances of this happening is to join a really good clan so that you can get someone who is specialized to do your processing for you. That being said, I'm one of the processors for my clan, and even though I have well over 100 ability points in all of the processing categories, I still lose items every once in a while. So it's not a guarantee, but it does help a lot, so I strongly recommend joining the clan. If you're an advanced player that does not have an active clan or think you could become an advanced player quickly, our clan is about to hit level 15, which will open up 10 more slots, so we are recruiting right now. Our clan base can reduce your fatigue quickly, and our cooks have prepared more food than you could ever want. So if that interests you, make sure to join the Warhammer. So having high levels of ability points for each stage of making an item is essential to creating the best items in the game. But in addition to that, if you go to the character menu and then to crafting power, you will notice that when you get your ability points really high in a certain category, category, it will unlock new crafting options for that category. These crafting options are usually either items that will increase your ability points even more, or ways of saving you a lot of resources. And then there are usually some really epic items as you get close to the max, but those are hard to get without a clan working together to get you there. Here's a list of all the ways that you can increase your crafting power levels. Well, that's it guys, hope that helps. I've attached a bunch of additional information in the pinned post of this video, so make sure to check that out. Also, even though this video was sponsored by Nexon, the more I play this game, the more I fall in love with it. So while I hope they continue to sponsor me, I'm going to keep covering this game even if they don't. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.